On the next segment now, we are talking to Patrick Meehan, a National Fire Chiefs Council lead for carbon monoxide safety. And our talking point today is carbon monoxide, as it's Carbon Monoxide Safety Week. Welcome, Patrick, to the show. It's great to have you on.
Thank you.
And
Glad to be on.
my first question, I'm going to dive straight in. Carbon monoxide, what is it used for, please?
What is it used for?
Yeah, carbon monoxide.
Right. So carbon monoxide, it's a byproduct of incomplete combustion. So basically, if you've got by incomplete combustion, if you've got a faulty gas fire boiler, oil-fired boiler, or a log burner, anything that burns fuel, if it's faulty and it's not burning correctly, you'll get incomplete combustion. And by that, with incomplete combustion, it will give off carbon monoxide. Now, carbon monoxide, you can't see it, taste it, or smell it. It's extremely dangerous. So in closed spaces, if you get high exposure to it, it can kill you in minutes.
Yeah.
Or it can make you really, really ill.
Sure. And as you say, people often say it's known as a silent killer.
Yeah.
Okay. My next question I'm going to ask you, how long does it take to get carbon monoxide poisoning, and what steps should one take if they do get carbon monoxide poisoning?
So you can get carbon monoxide poisoning within minutes, and it's different degrees. So you can have low-level exposure. So low-level exposure, you can just feel generally unwell over long periods of time, and not quite able to put your finger on it. And you should go and see a doctor, a medical practitioner. But the one way to probably narrow it down slightly on long-term exposure and probably acute exposure is, if you're feeling ill when you're at home or in one particular room, and when you leave, you go to work, you go on holiday, or you're out the house shopping, you feel a bit better, because basically you'll start to recover quite quickly. It will give you a warning sign that possibly there is a problem in that property. And also, if you've got more than one person in your family or a pet that have got the same symptoms at the same time, it's highly unlikely you're going to have a cold or the flu exactly the same time. So that should be a little warning sign. So if you're feeling unwell and you think it might be carbon monoxide, the first thing to do, take some medical advice, turn that appliance off, get an engineer out, get that appliance checked. So what you need to have is a carbon monoxide detector. So what we like is to have the first line of defence, get your appliance, your boiler, fire, serviced every 12 months by a reputable engineer. Then have a carbon monoxide alarm, a quality one. They only cost about 15 to 20 quid. They're available all over the place, DIY shops, supermarkets, online. Get one of those, make sure it's fitted and in the correct place. And basically, if there is carbon monoxide present, that will confirm it. So if that goes off, you've been exposed to carbon monoxide poisoning. And what you need to then is go to see a GP or go to A&E and tell them, relate it back to the alarm going off, and at least they'll know where to start looking then, because it's really difficult to diagnose because it can be confused with all these common symptoms, even COVID-19. Yeah. You won't get high temperature with carbon monoxide, but you'll get other similar symptoms. So the main thing is to get checked. So you said, how long does it take? So if you're in a property and so this time of year, it's really cold. I had to scrape my car windscreen this morning. So people have got the doors and windows shut. Some boilers will have an air vent which serves that boiler. Some people have blocked them up because they won't understand that's what it's for. Now, by not getting enough air to the boiler, or the chimney might be blocked because you haven't had it serviced and checked, you can have severe carbon monoxide leak. And if you get high dosage of high carbon monoxide leak in a short period of time, it can kill in minutes. So it can be literally from that to a long-term exposure.
Right.
So it's very quick.
Thank you for explaining that. Got some statistics from Project Shout revealed that over 1/3, 35% of people wouldn't recognise the symptoms of CO poisoning at all. Also done a little bit of research myself. I asked a dozen people, have they got a carbon monoxide fitted in their home, and nearly 25% of people said they do not have a carbon monoxide alarm in their home. Are they worrying figures?
They are worrying figures, and I think it's up to us to get that message out. Media, NFCC, industry, people in the gas industry. It's up to us to get that message out So we need to educate people. So I think because of COVID-19, understandably, most people understand it now. We understand about social distancing. We understand about how it spreads. I don't think there's enough public awareness that people understand about carbon monoxide poisoning, where it comes from, the importance of having a carbon monoxide detector. I think we all understand about the importance of having a smoke alarm. We know that saves your life. It's virtually does exactly the same job of that, except it detects carbon monoxide. So you could, if you get one, so we need to make sure everyone know why you need one. They know the importance of getting gas appliances and other boilers and log burners getting checked once a year, getting your chimneys checked. We need to make sure everyone knows that message, and they know it's very important to get your boiler serviced, fire serviced, and get a quality carbon monoxide alarm. And that is up to us as public, the industry and public services to make sure that message gets out and we educate people.
And got some more stats here. Approximately 50 people die each year from carbon monoxide poisoning, and thousands more treated in hospital. Onto this one, testing the alarm. 80% of residents in properties that do have an alarm admit they have no idea whether it works or not, as they never test it.
Yeah, so carbon monoxide alarms, they've come on massively over recent years, and most of them now, a decent quality one will be a sealed battery unit. So they last about 7 years. So the reason for that is the sensors which sense the carbon monoxide, the lifetime of that is 7 years. So the battery is coincided to do that. So basically, we like you to test your carbon monoxide alarm every week. When you take your smoke alarms, it's a great time. It takes seconds to do. So by testing it, you know the battery's working, you know the sensor's working. Now, if you know that's working and it doesn't go off, and if it's situated in the right place, as in near between 1 and 3 meters away from your gas fire boiler or where you're sleeping, basically, if that goes off, you know there's an issue, and then you seek medical advice and get an expert out to check your appliance. If it doesn't go off and you've had your boiler serviced and you know you test it, you're safe, aren't you?
Yeah.
It'll give you peace of mind,
yep.
And you'll know you and your family are safe as you can make them.
Yeah, sure. And on the smoke alarm itself, it's measured when it's reset on 3 zeros. What is it measured in on the device, and what level on that device is dangerous?
So it's parts per million of carbon monoxide, and it's 30 parts per million. It'll go off at.
Right.
Okay. So if it's going off at 30 parts per million, that means you need to get out of that room. Okay. So if you're exposed to that dosage of carbon monoxide for a long period of time, your life's in risk and your health is definitely in danger. So it's part per million. It's probably, so your gas engineer will understand that. So when you get a gas engineer out and an oil fire engineer, basically they'll come out and they have a gas monitor, and they stick the little sensor in the flue, and that'll give you parts per million. So part of your service, they're going, look, that's safe. It's 70 parts per million, because there is a permissible amount, because a lot of it will just dissipate in the air. So after a certain amount, it's not safe. So if it's going off, it's a definitely get out of the house. If it's not going off, you know you're fairly safe.
So when the alarm goes off, is it kind of, in short, abandoned ship? Do you open any windows at all? Or is it just best to vacate the property?
Right. For me, I would like you to get out and stay out. So get out, stay out. So turn off the appliance if you can, if you've got time. If it's not going to take you ages, turn off the appliance, ventilate, open the doors and windows. Get out is the most important thing. Call the gas emergency number, which is 0800 111 999. And if it is a gas appliance, or get an engineer out if it's a different type of appliance, seek medical advice, definitely. Can I just cover, so we mentioned smoke detectors for a short while. Just want to clarify, smoke detectors, you do need a smoke detector. The carbon monoxide alarm is a totally different device, so we need to make sure we got both. But yeah, with if one activates, make sure you come out of the property. That is my main advice. Your experts can come along, fire service can come along, and they can ventilate. We wear breathing apparatus in the fire service. We won't breathe that in. Get out of the property.
Sure, and my final talking point briefly is in October 2015, law came into force that required private landlords to fit carbon monoxide alarms in every property that had a solid fuel burning appliance such as open fire log burner. This law, however, does not cover gas appliances such as a gas boiler or gas hob, something Project Shout is campaigning to change.
Yeah, so good timing that is, because there's a public consultation out at the moment, and it's been sent to industry to basically to feed back. So there's a look at a change in legislation. So for me personally, I would like to be where Scotland is. So Scotland, it was February 2021, looks like going to be 2022 now because of COVID. Everything's been put back a bit. In Scotland, every property is going to have a carbon monoxide alarm where there's a fuel burn appliance and importantly as well, a flue. So where there's a flue going through a bedroom, you should have a carbon monoxide detector, because carbon monoxide can seep from one room to another or a property to another. So in England, you're right, at the moment, it's just where a solid fuel appliance is fitted and where landlords have a solid fuel appliance fitted, they should have a carbon monoxide detector. So legislation's been looked at the moment, public consultation, where it's looking to go to cover every appliance apart from apart from a cooking appliance. So every appliance and all fuel types in all rented accommodation, and that's been looked at the moment. So hopefully, I'd like to see more than that, but hopefully in the future, that will make us all a lot safer.
Right, Patrick Meehan, National Fire Chiefs Council lead for carbon monoxide safety on today's show with Danny. Talking point to Carbon Monoxide Safety Week. It's been a delight to have you on.
Thank you, Danny.
Okay, great stuff.
All right.